I'm just double checking, making sure we're good. Had a little bit of trouble with it actually allowing me to go live. I had, the stream copy and everything in OBS set up, and I was just trying to make sure that everything was lining up properly. So let me just listen to the playback to make sure everything's good. Yep, everything's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. So let me go ahead and get myself set up and get myself prepared because this is my final reading of the entire Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba read through. I hope my voice is coming in clear for all of you. I'm just going to go ahead and get started with this, regardless if people are here or not. So that way, once I add this to the playlist, we get started with the story. So yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here to bring you the last volume of Demon Slayer. I find it funny how out of all the days that I've did this series, they've always been on Mondays, and it just so happened that the very last Monday or last week I need to read Demon Slayer fell on the day that the actual volume released officially. So this is gonna be different from my last Demon Slayer videos due to the fact that I'm doing this live. Welcome everyone. Let's just do a little bit of a recap. I have it here up on my page, but I'm gonna read the actual volume to you guys, going through the entire thing. So in chapter 196, it ended with Muzan trying his best to divide his body so he could escape everyone. Because of Tamayo's machinations, he is now suffering from human regression, which caused him to age 9,000 years, caused rapid aging, and caused him to make it so that he couldn't divide himself up so he could escape. Not only that, but apparently due to Tamayo, the human regression and aging also caused the scars left by Yoriichi to appear all over his body. So all the scars that was left by Yoriichi was permanently burned into Muzan, and he could never heal from it. So now these scars are showing up on him. But it turns out that there was a fourth extra substance that was in Muzan that is now causing him to cough up blood. And Tamayo says that of the human regression, of the aging, and the division prevention, the additional fourth substance that's affecting his body now is cell destruction, which is essentially what Muzan's blood does to regular humans if he puts too much blood into their system. So the very thing he uses to kill off humans is slowly killing him off, with the last words being from Tamayo saying, there were 4 substances. After 3 weakened you, the 4th will begin cell destruction. Your most hated thing, death, is now so close. And that pretty much ended chapter 196. But here, I'm going to read through the entire volume 23 and end this entire series of Demon Slayer. So here's a bit of a footnote from Koyoharu Gotoge. Hi, I'm Gotoge. It makes me sad to say it, but this is the final volume of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Let me move my mic to the side so that way you guys can get my voice and it's not blocked by it. Hi, I'm Gotoge. It makes me very sad to say it, but this is the final volume of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Thank you to everyone who has cheered me on and was involved with the series. I won't be looking at chat while I'm reading this. I'm just going to focus on reading through this whole volume, and then we'll talk afterwards. Thank you to everyone who has cheered me on and was involved with the series. All the encouragement and support I received from the people who read my work meant so much to me, so no amount of thanks I can offer will ever be enough. Your kindness cheered me on the whole time and from all sides. Thank you so much for reading this manga. I worked hard on it, so I'm really happy. Truly, I'm so blessed to have been able to present Demon Slayer to the world. I look forward to the day when we can all meet again. Tales from hundreds of years ago exist in the present, and after the passage of decades and centuries, the events of today will become stories of the past. grandfathers and grandmothers, fathers and mothers, everyone experiences a time of childhood, a time that leads to the present. You yourself are part of that great flow, and as you overcome times of hardship, the years pass by. The very moment that you think all is lost is the moment when you must stand firm and not stray from the path. I hope you will be strong in difficult situations and harsh circumstances, but it's also not good to push yourself too hard, so take things at a reasonable pace. Keep your eyes fixed forward and find your own bliss. And that's the, foreword from Kotoge. And the name of this volume is called Life Shining Across the Years. Then we have pages describing everyone: Nezuko, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Gyomei, Sanami, Iguro, Kanroji, Yoshiro, Yushiro, Muzan Kibutsuji, Inosuke, and Gyu Tomioka. And then we have the contents from chapters 197 all the way to chapters 205. But let's get started. Chapter 197, Tenacity, with Tamayo embracing Muzan in his mind, saying, "There is no need to be stronger than you to kill you. Weakening you is good enough. Just as you will do anything to live, we will do anything to kill you." And she says this as she digs her fingernails into his face and starts to scratch across his face. And then we have Muzan thinking to himself, saying, "Most of the time, this world means nothing to me. Attacks and damage from bright red blades shouldn't work on me. The bright red blades of these demon slayers pale in comparison to his, and regenerating shouldn't exhaust me. However, the 4 drugs in my system have turned ordinarily ineffective attacks into extremely effective ones that are taking a physical toll on me. I had no idea she could make a concoction this powerful in such a short time. It's different from the poison used against Doma. I've never encountered it before. It will take time to analyze and counteract it." And then it shows Muzan, who's, still coughing up blood, and his body is kind of tensing up and stopping. He's no longer doing massive attacks around with those tentacles he had on his back. With Tanjiro thinking, "He stopped! Tamayo's drug must be working! We can do this! We can win! It's almost dawn!" And then, as Muzan stops, Muzan's entire body just opens up, like a giant mouth just opens up diagonally across his chest. And Tanjiro immediately falls over, with him screaming out in pain. What was that? That attack? That blast? Seizures? I'm convulsing. I can't stop. I can't breathe. My breath, my body, I can't. Muzan, get away. And then it shows Master Kiria and his sisters doubling over in pain, and the crows that had tags all over them, they're starting to double over, and they're pretty much dying and doubling over in pain as well. With Kiria saying, I'm fine. Never mind me. Are Obanai and Tanjiro alright?" With Rengoku's father thinking, "Did Muzan's attack reach here? Impossible. Surely he hasn't sensed our location." With Uzuri holding one of the younger sisters here, with her saying, The eyes got displaced so I can't see. The sun will rise in 25 minutes. With Kiria continuing saying, "It won't be long now. Don't let Muzan escape. Please, someone stop him." With Tanjiro thinking, "Get up! You must get up!" With Tanjiro still crying out, saying, "Ah!" Thinking, "Ah! I can't breathe! Did that attack crush my lungs? Where is Iguro?" With Muzan starting to walk away, trying to escape, and Tanjiro's thinking, "Muzan's going to get away!" And then Inosuke comes in with Beast Breathing, Fourth Fang, Slice and Dice! And Inosuke is just covered in blood everywhere, but he's bandaged up as well, and he's huffing and puffing, and he's out of breath, saying, "You've really done it now, and I won't stand for it." And Tanjiro is lying there, shaking all over and convulsing, having, I guess, mini seizures, thinking, Inosuke, Muzan is too dangerous. Then, all of a sudden, there's like a womb crack sound, and there's a massive crack that appears in front of Muzan, with Muzan thinking, I can't use my techniques. Am I too tired? With Inosuke saying, they protected us. The old guy with the rosary lost his leg, and the guy with the half and half Haori lost his arm. All the bodies lying around here belong to comrades I shared meals with. Give them back! Their legs and arms, their lives, everything! If you can't do that... And Muzan tries to swipe at Inosuke, with Inosuke tears in his eyes saying, then you'll pay for it with 1,000,000 deaths! And Inosuke starts clashing with Muzan. And Muzan punches one of his arms underground and tries to pretty much grabs Inosuke in a giant tooth-laden mouth. And he starts to slowly crush Inosuke, who coughs up blood through his mask. Oh no, Inosuke! I have to help him, but it's no use. I'm going to die first! Then there's a boom as Inosuke is freed from this arm, and it was Zenitsu who came up there saying, hang in there, Inosuke! Tanjiro's still alive! I can hear his heartbeat! And Zenitsu is kind of banged up as well. And then Zenitsu is running saying, Tanjiro, focus on staying alive! Can you hear me? Don't die! You can't die! Nezuko's gonna be human again, and you're gonna get her out of here, and go back to the house where you grew up! Your family is waiting for you two to return! And then, as he's saying that, Zenitsu is slammed into a building by one of Muzan's tentacles. But before Muzan can deliver the finishing blow, Inosuke comes in and, kind of knocks it out of the way. But then Muzan swipes again and knocks Inosuke in an adjacent building. And then Inosuke, from this hit, starts coughing up more blood again. And then Tanjiro is thinking, if a blood demon art is attacking my nervous system, then a Nichirin sword just might be effective. Come on, lift it up. Hurry, faster! And it shows Tanjiro slowly aiming his sword at himself to stab himself. Gotta stab myself, but I can't hit a major blood vessel or a vital organ. And then Tanjiro stabs himself in his shoulder. Is this going to work? Please, stop this attack! Stop this shaking! And then Muzan, who's still bleeding and huffing and puffing, he's suffered so much exhaustion. His once nearly invincible body has suffered 9,000 years of degradation and cell destruction and aging and regression. And he's finally feeling all of it, thinking, I can't move my arms. My body is as heavy as lead. That one is getting up again. And that one he's referring to is Zenitsu. And then it shows Inosuke still coughing up blood, but he's getting up as well, with Muzan thinking, these pests. I crushed them, but they won't die. They come back again and again. They get up over and over to buy time until dawn, until the moment they can take my life. And that is the end of chapter 197. Onwards to chapter 198. The next thing we knew. And it shows Inosuke still clashing with Muzan with beast-breathing fourth fang, slice and dice! And then Zenitsu using Godspeed, thunderclap and flash! With Zenitsu thinking, I'm getting weaker, and one of my legs is failing. My next attack will be my last at full strength! And then Zenitsu goes in against Muzan with 7th form, Hono Ikazuchi no Kami! And using this attack, which you remember, it has him clad in this dragon head made of pure lightning. He cuts directly into Muzan, and it draws enough blood for Muzan to be taken aback by this attack. The cut was too shallow. Only a bright red blade can do enough damage. Ugh. And then Zenitsu falls to the ground as Muzan aims at him. But Inosuke comes in and cuts the tentacle aimed at Zenitsu with Fist Fang, Crazy Cutting! And then he comes back at Muzan with Third Fang, Devour! And then I guess Muzan uses an attack with the giant mouth in his chest and causes it to cause a giant shockwave to come out, and it causes Inosuke to be pushed back a little bit. With Zenitsu crying out, Inosuke! Oh no, I'll never reach them in time! And then we have Tanjiro coming in, I guess saving Inosuke with Sun Breathing, Burning Bone, Summer Sun! And then it has Tanjiro going up against Muzan with Raging Sun, Fire Wheel, Beneficent Radiance! With Tanjiro thinking, Muzan can't I'm making sure my mic is on. Muzan can't release consecutive shockwave attacks anymore. He needs time to generate them, and his arm and tentacle attacks are slowing. Dragon Sun Halo Head Dance! More sun-breathing techniques against Muzan. Solar! And before Tanjiro can finish the attack, he coughs up blood, causing him to misstep. And as a tentacle gets closer and closer to hitting Tanjiro, Inosuke comes in with Six Fang, Palisade Bite! And then Tanjiro comes back with Sun Breathing Dance! I think it's just called Sun Breathing Dance. Sun Breathing Dance! Clear Blue Sky! Fake Rainbow! Just more and more sun breathing. With Zenitsu just watching all this going down, thinking to himself, gotta stand up now! Gotta keep attacking or he'll get away! Any attack is enough! Just do it and wear him down! Come on! Move! And then his grandpa appears in his mind with Zenitsu thinking, Gramps, I'm begging you, give me the kick I need! And then Zenitsu comes up behind Muzan with Thunderclap and Flash, and just slashes Muzan straight up the back. And Zenitsu tumbles after using this attack, thinking, I'm too slow. Ugh. With Tanjiro and Inosuke coming in with Beast Breathing and Sun Breathing, Crazy Cutting, Dance, as they continue to cut into Muzan. And Inosuke gets thrown aside by Muzan, with Tanjiro crying out for Inosuke in his mind. Inosuke! Don't stop. Stay on the attack. Setting Sun Transformation! Dragon Sun! And then Tanjiro falters just a little bit, because his strength all these techniques are really weighing down on him. And as it appears like Muzan's about to crush. Every single moment it seems like Muzan's about to kill one of the other. They all get saved by the other person. Because as Muzan prepares to crush Tanjiro, Zenitsu comes in with Godspeed, Thunderclap, and Flash! And hits Muzan. But then Muzan ends up hitting Zenitsu. And after that happens, Tanjiro comes in right behind Zenitsu with Sun Breathing, Dragon Sun Halo Head Dance, Raging Sun! And he's just constantly attacking Muzan over and over again. Sunflower Thrust! Ooh, this is a hot panel right here. With the Sunflower Thrust, Tanjiro pins and slams Muzan directly into a wall. With enough force to kind of, crater him into it. Then Tanjiro thinks, I can't use any more techniques, but we need to pin him here, and every second counts! And then it shows all the tentacles around Muzan trying to pin and skewer pin, and skewer Tanjiro, with one of his tentacles aiming for Tanjiro as well. But he's stopped by Kanroji, who is physically holding him back. She has his left arm around her, pulling on him to keep him from hurting Tanjiro, with her saying, "That's enough, you idiot!" And as she says, "you idiot," she physically rips off the... Ooh! Mitsuri! She physically rips off the entire arm of Muzan. But she also gets hit with an attack directly in the face a little bit too, with Tanjiro screaming out, "Kanroji!" Then Muzan tries to use his other remaining arm to try and skewer Tanjiro, because Tanjiro has Muzan pinned, literally impaled to the wall with his sword. And as Muzan attempts to use his other remaining arm to hit Tanjiro, his other arm is cut off by Saname Shinazugawa with wind breathing, 8th form, primary gale slash. And then he proceeds to pin into Muzan as well, and pin his arm, with Tanjiro saying, "Shinazugawa." Then, all of a sudden, Muzan's eyes go in opposite directions, and his head starts to split down the middle. And yeah, he's pulling a Pennywise, and his whole entire face completely opens up into multi-fanged maw with a massive tongue in an attempt to try and consume Tanjiro's face. Can't fall back. Stand firm. Can't let him get away. But before Muzan is able to crunch down on Tanjiro, Iguro comes in and takes the blow for him. Iguro! With Shinazugawa saying, "Dawn is breaking, so hang in there!" And as it shows Iguro taking the attack while Shinazugawa pins one arm of Muzan and Tanjiro pins, Muzan to the other wall, it shows dawn approaching on the horizon on the outskirts of the city. The sun is coming up. Chapter 199, Millennium Dawn. And these first few panels are nothing but silence as Muzan watches the sun start to come up over the mountains, and his eyes open wide in utter horror, as he does his absolute best to just thrash the entire area around him, throwing off Shinazugawa, throwing off Iguro, trying to throw off Tanjiro, who still has him pinned, and he actually ends up taking off Tanjiro's left arm. But Tanjiro still has him pinned. "Whatever you do, don't let go. Make your blade turn red. Keep your heart burning. Turn red, please!" Then all of a sudden, another hand grips Tanjiro's sword, and it's Giyu Tomioka! And then Giyu is there holding onto the sword as Tanjiro's sword starts to turn red. And as it turns red, Muzan starts to cough up blood, and as the sun starts to rise over the mountains, Muzan's body begins to burn. With him thinking, in a last-ditch attempt, thinking, "I'll get under the rubble. No, if I shrink my body, I'll burn up in an instant. But with flesh as my armor, I can protect myself." And it shows Muzan trying to morph his body into more flesh so he can, burn slower. And it shows Muzan engorging and enlarging his body into a large, giant, baby-like shape in order to stave off the burning. Because he's burning right now, but he's enlarged his entire body to that of a giant baby-like form in order to stave it off for a little while longer. with Giyu thinking, he got bigger? Then all of a sudden, it shows Tanjiro being pulled into Muzan's body, with Giyu screaming out, Tanjiro! And Tanjiro gets absorbed into Muzan's body. And Muzan, in this giant baby form, screams out in pain as his body starts to burn away. And then it shows Kirya back at the Ubuyashiki mansion saying, don't let him get into the shade! Drop it now! And then it shows that there are some other Demon Slayer Corps members who have like a giant bookcase, and they drop it on top of Muzan, who gets held under by all this rubble. Now, mind you, it's not enough to completely shade him in order to stave off the burning, but it's enough to slow him down, with them saying, we got him! And then he starts to move again. After this, still burning. And Kiryu says, next, go! And it shows other Demon Slayer Corps members driving full-on cars into Muzan, screaming out, die! With Kiryu saying, watch out, fall back! And then it shows Muzan crushing one of the cars, which I believe they managed to jump out in time. And it also shows them pushing an entire subway car in front of Muzan in order to keep him from getting away. Now, push! Block its way! And they're all screaming out as they try to push and shove this subway car in Muzan's way in order to keep him from escaping. The Demon Slayers are not giving up. Push! 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 Stand firm! No matter what! The Hashira can't fight anymore! And it shows Muzan still screaming out in pain as his body is still burning. Hold fast! Keep pushing! We're all in this together, so don't be afraid! And then Kiryu, with tears in his eyes, is screaming out, saying, no! Fall back to stay alive! I'll think of another plan! And it shows one of the fists of Muzan starting to come down on the Demon Slayer Corps. But it is meaningless, as Shinazugawa comes in with wind breathing, night form, Ida Tensai Typhoon! Ida Tens Typhoon! I wanted to make sure I read that right. Shinazugawa comes in and slices off the arm that Muzan was trying to use to crush the Demon Slayer members to, keep them from pushing him. And he falls all over, just coughing. Shinazugawa's in bad shape. The fact that he managed to pull off this breathing technique just speaks to his level of stamina and durability. And then he's coughing, saying, what a tough idiot! Hurry up and die, you filth! And then it shows Muzan trying to climb over with the other Demon Slayer Corps member saying, uh-oh, he's climbing over! Oh no, what should we do? And then, out of nowhere, a big old chain comes right behind Muzan and loops around his neck. Y'all know who this is. It's Gyomei! And with the help of other Demon Slayer Corps members, he's holding onto Muzan in order to keep him from going anywhere. And then Gyomei manages to pull Muzan completely on his back. And Muzan is still reeling from the pain of burning in the sun, with Kiryu screaming out, come on, disintegrate! Burn, darn you! And then, his sister is praying, please, mother, father, sister, God. And then it shows Muzan still moving around as he slowly tries to dig what appears to be him digging into the ground. And Gyomei says, thanks, the ground? And then he says, he's trying to dig underground, attack and whittle away Muzan's strength! And Shinazugawa is still coughing up blood, and he can't really say anything. As Gyu Tomioka comes in and slashes at Muzan with water breathing, 10th form, constant flux! With him thinking, a one-handed strike cuts too shallow. Then Shinazugawa comes in with wind breathing, 5th form, cold mountain wind! And it shows them using all their breathing techniques to keep Muzan from burrowing underground. Then Iguro, who's still there, comes up with serpent breathing, fourth form, twin-headed reptile, and they're all just slashing at Muzan, trying to keep him from going underground. And then Gyomei's thinking, everyone is at their limit. We can't do much more. Please just die. And then Gyomei's chains break. And they all fall backwards. It's no use. Then, all of a sudden, I believe this is Tanjiro's sword. He grips his sword, and there's an explosion of blood from underneath where Muzan is trying to dig into. The sun is fully shining and it's bright, and it shows Muzan just screaming out in pain, and then his body starts to disintegrate. Right then and there. And that is the end of chapter 199. Chapter 200, The Price of Victory. In these first 3 panels, it shows the sun fully coming up, and pretty much Muzan Kibutsuji fading away with only his lower half being left. And then we have a full page here with all the members of the Demon Slayer Corps. Gyomei, Iguro, Mitsuri, Shinazugawa, Giyu, Inosuke, Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro. And then we have Kirya, whose eyes... And no one's saying anything. These are just panels of silence. Kirya's crying his eyes out as the last bit of Muzan starts to disintegrate. The other Demon Slayer Corps members are all silent as the last of Muzan completely fades away, starts to fade away. Now, there's a little bit here, a little bit of him left in this panel, but they all scream in celebration. Ah, we won! We defeated Muzan! Muzan is dead! And then they all come up, and then back at the Ubuyashiki mansion, they come up behind Kirya saying, Master! Tend to the injured. And they finally take the tag off of Kirya as I bet you he's unconscious and he's just resting because he's finally closed his eyes after all of this fighting. And then one of the Demon Slayer Corps members says, we aren't done yet. Go treat the wounded. Shift to emergency aid. Stop blubbering and pull yourselves together. And then Gyomei is being tended to and he says, no. Don't waste medication on me. But, Himejima! It's too late for me. You would only be throwing away precious supplies. Go see to the younger fighters. But... Please, this is my last request. And then it shows Gyomei as a hand touches him. And then he looks up. I mean, I say look up, but Gyomei's blind. He just looks up in that direction saying, oh, it's you, huh? And then it's all the children that were there with Gyomei when he was growing up. Sensei, we've always wanted to apologize for that day. We know we hurt you, but we weren't trying to run away. We wanted to protect you because you're blind. I wanted to go outside to find a farming tool to use as a weapon. And I wanted to go call for help. Oh, is that what you were doing? We're sorry for driving Kaigaku outside, but there was a reason for that. If we had lived to see the morning, we would have told you. We're truly sorry. And then Gyomei starts crying, thinking, yes, if only tomorrow had come. I am sorry too, that I couldn't protect you. No, don't apologize. We all love you. We've been waiting for you this whole time. Oh, thank you. Then let us all go together. Let's go. And then Gyomei passes away, tears in his eyes and a smile on his face. Good God, I love this guy. And all the Hashira, all of the Demon Slayer Corps members and the medical team that's around him all tear up and just say, Himejima, And then it shows Mitsuri. And her eyes have completely glazed over. And she's saying,
Huh? Kaburamaru? Iguro? Did we win?
And then Iguro says, yes, we won. Muzan is dead.
Oh, good. I don't feel any pain, so I guess I'm dying.
And then Iguro says, I'll probably die soon too. You aren't alone. And then Mitsuri says,
No, don't die yet. I'm sorry. I wasn't much use in the fight.
And then Iguro says, no, that isn't true. Please don't say that. Do you remember the first day we met?
Yes.
And wow, this is a real emotional moment here.
I was lost at the mansion and you helped me.
No, it's the other way around. You were such a normal girl when we met that you saved me. And then it just cuts to a flashback of when Iguro first met Mitsuri the first time, and she's saying,
you got excited over the smallest things, and your laughter was like bells ringing. You must have struggled on your way to becoming a Hashira, but you never gave any indication of it. I enjoyed talking to you and was happy to feel.
And then Iguro says, I enjoyed talking to you and was happy to feel like a normal boy. I'm sure the others felt the same way. Your bottomless cheerfulness and kindness have saved many people, so you should be proud. I would never let anyone say otherwise. And then Kanroji just starts crying, saying,
I'm so happy. I care about you so much, Iguro. Meals always tasted better when I was with you, Iguro, because you looked at me with so much affection. Iguro, please. If we're reborn and we come back as humans, can I be your bride?
And then Iguro says, yes, of course, if you will agree to have me. And this time I will make you happy and protect you so you don't die. And then we cut to Shinazugawa, who's looking on at his brother, Genya. And then Shinazugawa's thinking, Genya, everyone is over there. And he's looking on in the distance. And then he says, Mother, why don't you go there too? Mother, you're here, aren't you? And then I guess his mother says, no, I cannot go there. Why not? Come with me, come on! No, I cannot go with everyone else. I harmed my own children, so I cannot go to heaven. Very well, then I will go with you. Besides, if I went there too soon, Genya would get sad. I will carry you to hell on my back. And then it shows Shinazugawa grabbing his mother's hand, but another arm grabs his. And apparently his father is saying, let go of her. Shizu is coming with me. And then he gets shoved aside. No! Father! Let go of my mother, you jerk! You can't go to either place! And then, I guess Then his father says, you can't go to either place yet. Be thankful you're my son. You're extra tough. And then Shinazugawa wakes up, because Shinazugawa is not dead. Hey, look! He's regained consciousness! Shinazugawa's awake! And Shinazugawa's just covered in bandages. Ow! That boar bit me! He's totally alive and kicking! Uh-oh, but he's coughing up blood! He might die! And Inosuke is alive, but he's also, like they said, coughing up blood. So Shinazugawa is alive, Inosuke is alive, and it shows Zenitsu alive as well. Please, if I die, tell my wife Nezuko that I love her. She's not your wife! And that I was brave, and that I thought of her until the very end. This guy never shuts up! No, Tomioka, you mustn't move! Gyu's up as well. Where's Tanjiro? Is he alright?
First, let us treat you and...
And then Giyu sees him, and he looks over at Tanjiro, who still knelt over on the ground, just still holding his sword, still missing his left arm, covered in blood with his head held down. And they're just standing around him. And one of the Demon Slayer Corps members is in tears, saying, "He isn't breathing, and there's no pulse. Tanjiro!" And they're all crying around him. And Giyu starts tearing up, and he walks towards him. And he places his hand on Tanjiro, saying, "I failed to protect you again. I always receive protection from others. Forgive me." And then we have Nezuko, who just ran up. "I'm sorry, Nezuko. I'm so sorry." And Nezuko is running up with tears in her eyes as well. And that's the end of chapter 200. And now we start on chapter 201, The King of Demons. Why are we going back to this? Is Muzan dead? Is he dead? Come on, come on. But we have someone saying, "The shadow of death has always been close to me. My heart stopped numerous times while I was still in my mother's womb. They said I was stillborn. I was born with no pulse, not breathing. But when they went to cremate me, I writhed and struggled and released my first cries." This must be Muzan's backstory. We finally found out how he came to be. "That which I have desired has always come to pass. I have made it happen. However, what I could do alone was limited. Ubuyashiki, I must admit that what you said was true. All that lives must die. Only feelings are eternal and undying. That is true. I do not remember a single human being I have killed. Flesh dies, and that is the end. However, their feelings passed on and never fell to ruin, and have even defeated me. I have witnessed that fact with my own eyes, and I was so moved that I trembled. My flesh will soon crumble in the sunlight. But my own feelings are undying and eternal as well. I will entrust all of my feelings to this child. His breath and heart have stopped, but not all his cells have died, so he is still alive. There is still time." Yo, Muzan did something to Tanjiro while Tanjiro was absorbed in his baby body. "I will pour into you all my blood and power, and if you avoid immediate death and survive, Tanjiro Kamado, you will conquer the sunlight and become the strongest demon, the king of demons. That is because you are the elder brother of Nezuko Kamado, and thus share her blood. And you are the only one able to use the same breathing techniques as that monster." He's thinking of Yoriichi, not Yoroichi. Yoroichi is, from Bleach. Yoriichi is from this. I get the names so closely mixed up sometimes. "You will not die. I believe that. Make my dream come true, Tanjiro." And then what's left of Muzan fades away. And then I did that before I even said what was going on. They're all crying around Tanjiro, and then they stop, and then Muzan's final words are, "You must destroy the demon slayers in my place." Tanjiro's eyes open, the cell degradation that had engulfed much of his face fades away, and his eyes open up to show demon eyes. And then everyone's looking like, huh? Then Tanjiro's severed left arm regenerates instantly. Then in an instant, Tanjiro swipes in one full direction and knocks everyone away from him. Huh? What? Tanjiro, why? And then it shows Tanjiro, who has been turned into a demon, drooling at the mouth, smiling maniacally, with Giyu Tomioka screaming out, "Get back!" And it shows Tanjiro swiping at a Demon Slayer Corps member, but the sun is up, and he immediately stops, just short of, severing this guy's face completely off. And he writhes in pain as the sun starts to, hurt him. And this Demon Slayer Corps member, who has a slight scar on a place where he could have lost the entire upper half of his head, just stares on as Tanjiro screams out in pain as he burns in the sun. And Giyu says, "Don't just stand there, get back!" But Tanjiro is... And it just shows Tanjiro screaming out in pain as the sun starts to slowly kill him. "Anyone who can still fight, grab a weapon and form up!" Then it shows Yushido wondering what's going on. "Form up!" And Zenitsu is wondering, there's some sort of commotion. And then the medical team around Shinazugawa are wondering, what happened? And then the words are spoken. "Tanjiro has become a demon! We have to keep him under the sun and burn him to death! Kill Tanjiro before he kills anyone!" And then, as Tanjiro is, burning in the sun, he uses his brand new found demon strength to launch himself over the subway car, but he's immediately pinned by Giyu towards the ground, thinking, "I can't let him get into the shade." And he just stares at Tanjiro as Tanjiro grabs him by the head. Ah, that's what they're called. They're called Kakushi. I can't believe I forgot their names after all this time. It's been a while since their titles have actually been said in chapters, so I apologize if I just kept calling them Demon Slayer Corps members, but the Kakushi that are around them, the ones with the mask over their face. Giyu says, "A moment later, and Tanjiro would have certainly have killed a Kakushi." I need to soundproof my room. But he said, "Thanks. A moment later, and Tanjiro would certainly have killed a Kakushi. Please come to your senses and just die." And it shows Tanjiro still burning in the sun. And then the burning stops completely. The burning stopped? No way. And then Tanjiro swings his arm and completely backhands Giyu, hitting him square in the chin. Had he hit him any other place, he would have pretty much shattered whatever spot he would have hit completely. And as Tanjiro goes in for the kill with Giyu, his arm is slapped away by Inosuke saying, "What are you doing?" And he gets slapped away, with Giyu thinking, "Blood loss is making me dizzy. This guy with the half and half, how are he? He's our ally." With Zenitsu coming in with another Kakushi saying, "Tanjiro!" And then it shows Tanjiro, who's crouched, and his body is slowly healing from the burn marks, and he has the marks of a person with, perfected with perfected breathing, like the special marks all over his body. More start to appear on his head as he's like in this feral crouch position, and he just glares at Inosuke and everyone else. With Zenitsu saying, "No way, Tanjiro? No one can fight anymore. We're all beat up. This is awful. What about Nezuko, Tanjiro?" And then it shows Tanjiro launching at Inosuke, and they both start clashing. Inosuke is fighting Tanjiro right now. "We're comrades, and like brothers, so if someone starts to stray from the path, we all stop him. No matter how hard or painful it is, we walk the right path." "Stop, Tanjiro!" screams Zenitsu. "I'll strike him down and stop him. And then he thinks back to when Tanjiro was speaking to him, saying, "Inosuke, you can eat this too." And it's just like a grilled fish on a stick. And as it shows Inosuke getting closer and closer to the neck of Tanjiro, he says, "I can't follow through. It's no use, Tanjiro. I can't do it." And Inosuke's eyes just fill up with tears. And that is the end of chapter 201. Onwards to chapter 202, Let's Go Home. And all of a sudden, there's a spray of blood as Giyu, Inosuke, and Zenitsu look on. And then we see a panel with long hair as it shows Nezuko getting in the way of Inosuke, allowing Tanjiro to bite into her shoulder. Kind of reminds me of the way of how Orihime allowed her brother, who was holified, to bite into her shoulder in order to, get through to him. And it shows Nezuko holding and hugging her brother.
My dear brother, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I didn't understand for so long. I put everything on your shoulders. Why is it you who always has to suffer? Why do kind people who struggle every day get trampled over and over?
She says with tears in her eyes.
It's frustrating, but don't give in. It's almost over, so don't turn into a demon. Let's go home. Let's go back home.
And then it shows Tanjiro screaming out loud as he digs his claws into Nezuko's back. And then he just starts to pick her up and start to move in one direction, but he's stopped by Zenitsu trying to hold on to him, saying,
"No, Tanjiro! It's Nezuko! She's back to normal! She's human again! Don't do this! She'll die! She called you brother, right?"
And then Tanjiro is still yelling out loud, and then Inosuke comes around and knocks him in the back of the head, saying, "Knock it off! Quit your screaming! Don't hurt Nezuko! This isn't you! You were so nice, so go back to being usual, Tanjiro!" As he just wails on Tanjiro's head. And then Tanjiro screams out loud with enough force to launch everyone back. Like it craters the ground, and it launches everyone back in a big old shockwave. And Zenitsu is launched everyone is launched in different places. The only person that wasn't launched into a building was Zenitsu, who was safeguarded by one of the Kakshi that was near him. But Zenitsu was thrown into a wall, and so was Giyu. And then it shows Tanjiro, who has gone the way of Muzan in his final form, and has sprouted numerous tentacles and what looks to be like bone tentacles, of pure bone. This dude is channeling some serious Kimimoto vibes right now. All his tentacles are just made out of pure bone. With Muzan, it was like fleshy with bone spikes in it, but with Tanjiro right now, it is all just straight bone. With Nezuko screaming, "Don't give in, Tanjiro! Please, brother!" And Tanjiro's still gurring as he launches one of his bone tentacles at Zenitsu, but it's intercepted by Giyu's water-breathing fourth form, Striking Tide! He bit Nezuko and learned the taste of blood. There's no going back. I must kill Tanjiro before he kills anyone. But sunlight and bright red blades won't work against him. There's no way to kill him. And then, all of a sudden, Tanjiro gathers a massive ball of energy in front of his mouth. Okay, what did this dude turn into a tailed beast? He's channeling a tailed beast bomb in front of him right now. And it looks like it's aimed at Giyu with Nezuko screaming out, "Please don't kill anyone! Please, brother! You have to stop!" And then she puts her hand in front of Tanjiro's face and causes this sphere of energy to drop into the ground, narrowly missing Giyu, with Zenitsu teary-eyed screaming, "Oh no, Nezuko!" And it shows Nezuko's arm severely mangled, like it even shows her fingernails completely bent completely out of their roots. Ah! Ah! And it shows Tanjiro's still not stopping, as she's trying to hold on to him, saying, "No, don't do that again!" As he whips more at everyone else, with Zenitsu saying, "Get away, Nezuko! Tanjiro, please stop!" And Inosuke, who's still immobilized, is saying, "Tanjiro, Nezuko!" With Giyu saying, "Why isn't he killing Nezuko? Bleeding prey is right in front of him. Why didn't his attack strike her? Are you fighting it, Tanjiro? I must get him to return to himself, but can I even achieve such a miracle?" And then Yushido is just watching all this happen, thinking, "This is bad. How could this happen? Muzan, even dead he plagues the living. I can't go out there because of the sunlight. In the sunlight, my blood demon art turns to dust. There's nothing more I can do." And then it shows Kanao just walking past Yushido, with her saying, "Tanjiro, Nezuko. I feel so sorry for the both of you." And then she reaches into her sleeve and pulls out this little box, saying, "It isn't broken. I can use it." And then we cut to Shinobu, like a little flashback with Shinobu when she was talking to Kanao, saying, "I'm giving this to you, Kanao. I thought there might not be enough medicine for Nezuko, so I made more from the wisteria flower. Tamayo made 3 drugs for changing demons back into humans, so this wasn't necessary. She is a great person, so I respect her." And Kanao, back in the present, because one of her eyes is, completely glazed over and blind, she says, "Kanae, so this is why I still have one eye. He just now turned into a demon, so even with only one eye, there's still time. I should be able to evade his attacks. Flower breathing, final form, equinoctial vermilion eye." And then it shows Kanao running towards Tanjiro. "That's Gojo's," says Giyu, as Kanao runs up directly behind Tanjiro and aims towards her. And then Tanjiro aims one of his hands at Kanao, and slashes her across the neck, I believe. Slashes her across the neck as she also jabs the vial, jabs the medicine directly into Tanjiro's back. And she says, "That's enough, Tanjiro. Come back to us. You mustn't make Nezuko cry." And then it shows Tanjiro deep in the mindscape, surrounded by flesh, thinking, "Nezuko." And then Kanao falls over, with her slowly bleeding out from where Tanjiro slashed her in I guess, the neck, it would appear. And then Nezuko screams out, "Kanao!" And then there's a heartbeat effect over Tanjiro. And that is the end of chapter 222. Onwards to chapter 203, Voices of Encouragement. And it shows Nezuko saying, "Tanjiro, let's go back. Let's go home." And then it shows Tanjiro thinking, "I want to go back. I want to go home too, Nezuko. I'm so tired. Please, God, let me go home. I just want to go home with my little sister. Please." And then the thoughts of Muzan pop up. Just like Tanjiro is stuck in a state like Sasuke was when Orochimaru tried to take over his body. And then Muzan chimes in saying, "But what happens then? Your whole family is dead. All that's there are buried corpses. So why go home? I still have memories of happy days there. As long as Nezuko and I are alive, they will never disappear. So I must go back. So why do something so pointless? Nezuko is dead. You killed her." "You're lying. Nezuko is alive. You're a liar." And it shows the hands of everyone who has ever supported him, including his own family, pushing him up from this growth. Because in this dreamscape, it shows him being absorbed into it, with Muzan trying to take over his arm. But then it shows his family coming out of that flesh, pushing him out of it, slowly but surely. Do not cause trouble, dead humans. Do you not smell the blood of your comrades? You did that. They hate you. No one wants you to come back. I want to apologize for hurting everyone. I want to go back and say I'm sorry. They will never forgive you. That isn't for you to decide. I can smell that they're worried about me. Silence. You are the inheritor of my will. Do not look forward. Do not believe in others. Do not find hope. If you aren't a demon, you will die in a few years. You will pay for manifesting the mark. Think only about yourself. Take hold of this opportunity for everlasting life. No, I'm going to die as a human. I don't have the slightest desire to live forever. I don't need that. I want to go back to everyone. And then Muzan says, you are scum. Do you want to survive and go back after so many others have died? Do you want to blithely live on without losing anything? And Tanjiro's eyes get teary-eyed as it shows his arms, as it shows not only the arms of his family pushing him up, but also the arms of all the previous Hashira bracing him up and supporting him as well. You're just imagining this. Have some shame and stop! This is Muzan being extremely desperate to try and take over the mind of Tanjiro and make him submit. And then Tanjiro thinks, I smell Shinobu. No, that's the aroma of wisteria. And it shows Tanjiro reaching towards it as Muzan still tries to hold him down.
Tanjiro, let's go back.
As it shows what appears to be the arms of Nezuko pulling him back. Nezuko, let go of her hand. You're coming with me. We've conquered the sun. You are a rare being. Don't go that way, Tanjiro. You see, Muzan is really trying to get desperate now. Muzan is getting extremely desperate to make Tanjiro submit to this. I don't know if anyone's commenting on anything. I've just been really immersing myself in this, so let me continue. Let go of her hand. You're coming with me. We've conquered the sun. You are a rare being. Don't go that way, Tanjiro. Can't you hear the hateful cries of the dead? They want to know why only you should live on. They've lost so much, but not you. And then Tanjiro thinks, no, they're not like that. They were willing to risk their lives for others. They were sad and they suffered, but they did not want that for anyone else. Wait, Tanjiro, please wait. You must carry on my will and my desires. Only you can do this. Don't you know you are the chosen one? You can be perfect, the ultimate living being. As it shows more hands grabbing onto Tanjiro, because the thing is, after it shows Nezuko's arms pulling him up towards the wisteria flowers in this dreamscape right now, more arms grab onto Tanjiro to pull him up even further. I can hear everyone. Tanjiro, come back! Don't give in! This way, Tanjiro! Even more arms come out of the wisteria to grab onto him. Let's go back! Let's go home! Tanjiro! Don't go, Tanjiro! Don't leave me here! As it shows Tanjiro being pulled into the wisteria flowers, and Muzan left by himself for all eternity. Then it shows Tanjiro just lying in a bed of wisteria flowers, and he opens his eyes as he stands around an entire crowd of Kakshis and Zenitsu and Nezuko and Giyu and Inosuke and Murata and everyone else, with Nezuko screaming out, Tanjiro! And then Tanjiro, who has fully returned human, with tears in his eyes, says, "I'm sorry. You're injured. Are you alright?" And then everyone screams, "He's back! Tanjiro!" And then Nosuke, with tears in his eyes, says, "You couldn't do anything to hurt me that bad." And Zenitsu was saying, "It will make him pay his whole life for what he did to me. And to you too, my wife." And then Nezuko's looking at Zenitsu like, wife? And Giyu gets up as Tanjiro and Nezuko finally embrace each other as humans. For the first time since the start of this series, after Tanjiro returned home from his trip with delivering charcoal, and after seeing his sister turned into a demon, and after all the things he had to go through to get stronger to turn her back, he finally embraces his sister, human to human. I can't think of a better conclusion to this, but I still got plenty of pages left. And then one of the Kakshis says, "Kano, Tanjiro woke up!" And then everyone's crying and, jumping up in the air, being happy about Tanjiro being awake. And then Tanjiro looks over in Kano's direction and thinks, "Kano, I'm glad she's alive." And Kano is just looking over at him, just smiling, as Inosuke just embraces him and continues to cry. And then Yushido, who's inside of a building because, the sun is up right now, he's crying. He's crying along with his, little cat that he had with him, saying, "I knew you wouldn't die." And then he's holding the pin of Lady Tamayo, saying, "Lady Tamayo, it's over." It's over. That's not the end of the chapter, though. We still got 2 more chapters left, but that's it. The reign of Muzan Kibutsuji, with chapter 223. Wait, I read the title for this, didn't I? Yeah, I did. 223, not 223, 203. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. Chapter 203 pretty much spelled the end of Muzan and all demons everywhere. But here we have the second to last chapter, and we're getting closer to the end. Chapter 204, A World Without Demons. Butterfly Mansion, 3 months later, and Tanjiro is recovering in the waiting room. Not the waiting room, but he's recovering in one of his rooms with Inosuke and Zenitsu sleeping on his bed with Nezuko just chilling. With Tanjiro saying, "The sakura trees are in full bloom." And then Nezuko says,
"Yes, they're so pretty."
And then we have the title card again with it saying, "There are no longer evil demons in the world. But that came at the cost of many sacrifices. Nevertheless, we must continue living as long as there's a tomorrow." And here, to remember the memories of everyone who's passed on, we have Genya, we have Shinobu. Hidden from view, we have Lady Tamayo, who's like behind all the Hashira. We have Iguro, Mitsuri, Gyome, Muichiro, and Rengoku. And then it shows Tanjiro's hand, like his left hand, which has become incredibly emancipated, with Nezuko saying,
"You can't grip anything with it. This hand is wrinkled like an old man's."
It's incredibly thin and bony and old. "That's right, I can raise and lower my arm, but I can't feel anything below the elbow."
"Oh.
Well, my arm did get completely destroyed. It's just like with this eye. It's fine, but I can't see anything out of it." So, Tanjiro is pretty much can't really use the lower half of his left arm, and he's lost sight in his right eye. "How are you doing, Nezuko?"
I feel totally fine."
And then he says, I suppose you have scars. Sorry, there was a little side note here with the old lady that was introduced and to take care of Inosuke and the rest of them before they fully went out to the Demon Slayer Corps headquarters. It says, Wisteria houses received word of the final battle. So many people spent the night praying for the Corps members' safety and success. Exhausted crows went to inform them of victory. But Tanjiro continues saying, I suppose you'll have scars and I'm sorry for what I did. And Nezuko says,
No one cares about that, so don't apologize. The next time you do, I'll flick your forehead.
And then he just looks down and he's just smiling. And then Nezuko says,
I'm glad you're human again. Giyu said he thought all was lost when I...
And then Tanjiro continues saying, Giyu said he thought all was lost when I bit you.
I can understand that. I thought the same thing. Yushido said it was lucky that we had Shinobu's medicine.
Oh wait, that's still Tanjiro talking. Yushido said it was lucky that we had Shinobu's medicine, and that you were the first person I bit.
Really?
Yes. You had been a demon, but you became human again, so you have antibodies.
Antibodies?
Immunity against Muzan cells.
Huh? Immune to what?
Without Shinobu's drug or Nezuko, you would never have been human again. Ah, Yushido's there. Without Shinobu's drug or Nezuko, you would never have been human again. You're very lucky. And you had tremendous potential as a demon. You conquered the sun in an instant, and were stronger than even Muzan and Nezuko. Wow! Hold on. When Muzan put all of his power and all of his will into Tanjiro, Tanjiro became stronger than even Muzan at that point? I'm not actually surprised. It's amazing you didn't lose yourself completely. You fought valiantly, and I admire that. And then Tanjiro, kind of teary-eyed, in his other working eye, says, No, I didn't do much. I had help from lots of people. I was joking. Don't take it seriously, dummy. You're the worst. Just seeing your face irritates me, so I'm leaving. And then he picks up his cat and just walks out of the door, just saying goodbye. And then Tanjiro says, Yushido, don't die, okay? You're the only one who can keep Tamayo's memory alive. And Yushido doesn't say anything and just leaves. And this must have been way back when. This must have been like a while back. Because now it cuts to the present with Tanjiro saying, I hope he's alright. I haven't heard from him since. I'm worried. And Nezuko says, Yeah. Oh, alright. I haven't seen Giyu and the others. Are they alright?
Yes, they're fine. They're visiting Master Ubuyashiki.
And then we have Kiriya, Master Ubuyashiki. I might as well just call him Master Ubuyashiki now.
Thank you for coming. This is the final Hashira meeting. Sanami, Giyu, you are the only surviving Hashira, and many rank-and-file Corps members died. However, we successfully eradicated the demons. Thus, the Demon Slayer Corps disbands today. And both Sanami and Giyu just say, understood. And one of his sisters says, For many years, fighters such as yourselves risked their lives.
And the other sister says,
And fought bravely to save the people of the world. All of us in the Ubuyashiki family extend our heartfelt gratitude.
And they all bow their heads towards Giyu and Sanami, with Giyu saying, Please, don't bow. And Sanami says, We don't need any thanks. The Ubuyashiki family is what held the Demon Slayer Corps together. And then Giyu says, Kiriya, you were awesome at your job. Your father and all your ancestors must be very proud. And then Kiriya looks up, and then he cries, saying,
Thank you very much.
And both Kiriya and his sisters all cry from this. And then, as this is going on, Sanami and Giyu both look at each other and just smile. And then we have Uzui, along with all of his wives, as they scream out, Tanjiro, Nezuko! And Uzui's here saying, I heard you've recovered and you're going home tomorrow. But first, you gotta come hang out with us! And Oh wait, that's Uzui saying, I heard you've recovered and you're going home tomorrow. And then one of his wives says,
But first, you gotta come hang out with us.
and then his other wife hits her in the face saying, "Don't be so loud, Makio." It's Makio who hit her.
Don't be so loud. Ah! Makio hit me. Tengen, did you see her hit me?
No, I missed it.
You idiot!
And then his other wife says,
Come visit when things calm down. Here's our address and a snack.
and Tanjiro says, "Oh, thank you." And then,
Hello? Hurry up, Dad. Come on.
I'm coming. Senjudo and Shinjudo. Oh, Senjudo and Shinjudo. Why so stiff? Come on. It's been a while. Yeah. I heard you used the handguard from my son Kyojiro's sword in battle. Thank you. I'm sure he would be pleased. Let me make sure that I can still okay, okay. Mic's still fine. My mic is still good. Okay. I heard you use the handguard from my son Kyojiro's sword in battle. Thank you. I'm sure he would be pleased. Don't mention it. His words gave me strength. I'm thankful for that. And then Zenitsu starts to wake up saying,
It's too noisy in here. Ah! The Hyotoko gang is here.
Hyotoko. I had to say that right.
Ah! The Hyotoko gang is here again. They come here every day and creep me out. And there's more of them? Why do they all show up at the same time? They're filling up the whole room!
Then it shows Zenitsu, who just gets up and then just leaves thinking, I'm hungry. And he goes inside the kitchen where Aoi is preparing food and tries to steal some food for himself. With Aoi saying,
Hey, you're stealing food again!
No, I'm not.
But your mouth is full.
How does she notice so fast? Maybe she's strong.
If you're hungry, eat this. This plate is just for you, so eat from it whenever you want.
And then Zenitsu, not saying anything, just holds it in his hands. And then she says,
But stop stealing food!
And then as she walks away, Zenitsu just smiles with a big old blush on his face because he's taking his mask off to eat. And he's just smiling with a big old blush on his face. Then we cut to Kanao, who's staring at a little bit of a sakura blossom tree right here, with Tanjiro coming up saying, Kanao, and then she says, Tanjiro, this sakura tree is impressive up close.
Uh-huh. The first user of flower breathing planted it. Its name is Victory.
Oh, that's cool.
I wanted to tell it that we succeeded.
Yeah, how kind of her. Is your eye alright? How's the wound?
I'm fine. I still have some vision.
Really?
Yes, and the wound doesn't hurt anymore. The Wind Hashira came here earlier. The Wind Hashira came earlier too.
Huh? Really? I should say hello.
You should. I think he's still here. He gave me the Serpent Hashira Psyche Kaburamaru. It's very intelligent.
Whoa, Kaburamaru, I see. Well, that's good. Oh, it's going to be very helpful for Kanao, who's lost sight in one of her eyes. For Kaburamaru to be able to, direct her a little bit like that. That's so wholesome. And then Nezuko walks up in front of Shinazugawa, and she just says,
Oh, hi.
And Shinazugawa just says, How are your injuries? Fine.
That's good.
And she smiles, and Shinazugawa really doesn't know how to do anything. And then he says, I'm sorry. I heard there was trouble after the defeat of Musan, but I was unconscious. And then Nezuko's just laughing.
Well, I was basically asleep for 2 years. Compared to that, it's nothing. And my brother has been in a coma for about a month.
And then Shinazugawa doesn't say anything. And then Nezuko just says,
I love to sleep.
And then he sees his brother in Nezuko because Genya said those same words as well.
I love to sleep because then I don't get hungry.
And then Shinazugawa, who had such a sour disposition and a sour look on his face, pats Nezuko on the head and has by far the warmest facial expression I have ever seen him have during this entire series. a genuine smile. And then he walks away and then just says, well, take care. And then as Nezuko is, her heart is beating and she's blushing a bit from having her head patted, Zenitsu is in the background, furious, like, huh? What was he doing? Huh? Huh? Because, Zenitsu is incredibly delusional and thinking that Nezuko is his. Then we have Urokodaki talking to Giyu Tomioka, who has cut his hair during this whole time skip thing that was happening. Not time skip, but it's just been like 3 months later. And then Nezuko and Tanjiro run up towards Giyu and Urokodaki, and with Tanjiro saying, you cut your hair! And then we see Zenitsu saying, there's no way we finish this today. There are too many graves. If we have to put flowers on all of them, we won't be able to go to Tanjiro's house. And then Inosuke says, let me do it. And then Zenitsu family brought me food. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, because I am not going to eat during stream. But Zenitsu takes the flowers and just starts throwing them around, saying, let me do it! And Zenitsu says, no, you wouldn't show enough respect! And then Tanjiro is, helping put out these flowers on all these graves of, I'm going to say, the recently departed Demon Slayer Corps members that lost their lives during this entire battle. And he just says, Inosuke, the sun is going down and I'm hungry! And Nezuko is just patting the head of Zenitsu. Then Inosuke says, while they're walking through the forest, says, hey, what are you carrying? Grandfather's remains. Remains? Is that a snack? No, are you stupid? And then it shows Nezuko saying, oh, there's Old Man Saburo. We haven't seen Old Man Saburo since the very first chapter. And then Saburo just looks on in complete surprise, and he embraces Nezuko and pretty much everyone else that's there. And then we return to the house of Tanjiro, of House Kamado. And it shows Nezuko and Tanjiro teary-eyed as they plant flowers where they pretty much buried their family. With Tanjiro thinking, father, mother, Takeo, Hanako, Shigeru, Rokuta. So many people helped me. Nezuko and I were able to return. So many people lost their lives, but they all did their best together to make their prayers come true. From now on, no matter what happens, we'll face it together. We're doing our best to live on after the sacrifices everyone made us. And then it just shows the spirits of all of his family members coming up behind them and hugging them, saying, welcome home. And seeing as how Tanjiro and Nezuko look behind them, they feel the presence of their family welcoming them, and they both look at each other. And they both get teary-eyed, and they start crying. We're home. We're home. We're back home. We're back. And then it shows Zenitsu saying, because they're actually going into their house now. Whoa, the inside of your house is pristine. And then Tanjiro says, Uncle Saburo and the other neighbors in the village apparently cleaned it up for us. Here's a letter. And Nezuko says, they even changed the tatami mats and drawers. Those aren't cheap. We have to go thank them again. And then Inosuke is just sniffing around on the ground. And then Zenitsu says, so this is where you two grew up, huh? It's so nice and warm. And then Tanjiro's just like, hey, hey. And then Inosuke chimes in and says, what is this? There are claw marks on the wall. What beast could have left these guys? Be careful. And then Tanjiro says, no, Inosuke, we made those marks. Our family recorded our heights as we grew up by scratching them on the wall and putting our names by them. What? I want to do it too. I'll surpass them all. Hurry, hurry! And it shows him trying to stretch underneath one of the marks there, but he's still not as tall as the tallest mark in the whole house. And Nezuko putting on cleaning clothes, like with a whole top thing that's the whole hair, bandana that goes over the hair. I don't know the exact name of it when it comes from Japan, and they put their hair and they wrap their hair in it. But she wraps her hair up as she prepares to clean, saying,
"Do that later, guys. We have to clean up before sunset."
And then Inosuke throws a fit and starts throwing a tantrum on the floor, saying, "Now! No! Now! I want to do it now!" And then Nezuko just says, "Fine. Yay!" And then Zenitsu says, "They're too soft on Inosuke." And then we cut to Tanjiro, thinking, "I dreamt of a bright future, where the people I love are smiling, until the day they depart for heaven. I hope that they will live, and I hope that they will live happily, and I pray that they will live safely, without fear." And it's showing Kirya and his sisters at the Ubuyashiki mansion. It shows Aoi and Kanao and Kabuta Maru, along with the other girls there as well. "Even if I'm no longer there, I want them to live." It shows Uzui and all of his wives. It shows Senjudo and Shinjudo walking. It shows Giyu Tomioka walking through a whole forest of sakura blossoms. "Even if I'm no longer there, I want them to live their lives to their fullest. I'm sure if you were me, you'd say the same thing." And then it shows Giyu just smiling. And then it shows Tanjiro and the rest of them all cleaning up the house. Inosuke and Zenitsu taking a bath, with Zenitsu saying, "Yeah, one at a time!" And it shows Tanjiro, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Nezuko all having dinner, and they're just laughing the night away. And the last narration we have is, "I hope these ordinary peaceful days never change and last forever." And in this panel that says "last forever," we are now in our present modern day. Skyscrapers and buildings and a whole entire New York City-like location. And that's the end of chapter 224. Onwards to the final chapter of Demon Slayer. Chapter 205. And for those wondering, yes, this volume also includes the extended pages that I heard so much about for chapters 205 and people told me to look out for. So we're reading this right now. Chapter 205, Life Shining Across the Years. "Come on, wake up. You're gonna be late for school. I've said the same thing 28 times now. Get up, Sumihiko." Kanata Kamado, age 16. "I am up." "No, you're not, and you're an ugly sleeper." Sumihiko Kamado, age 15. We are in the present day, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 205, Life Shining Across the Years. And we have these high school students just walking up these stairs. I wonder if these are the descendants of everyone from this entire story, because they all look like them a little bit in this one double-page panel. "I like to sleep. Recently I've been dreaming about my grandmother, and so I don't want to wake up. When I used to visit her when I was in kindergarten, she would tell us about the demons that existed long ago. I remember how much I would hold my breath and my heart would pound as I listened. I got so scared that my older brother got annoyed and said, 'Demons don't exist!' And then my grandmother would nod and pat my head."
"That's right. Your great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother fought hard to defeat the man-eating demons, so don't worry."
I loved my grandmother's gentle touch. When I asked what happens to people when they die, she said they're probably reborn and then live happily together with their loved ones. But my brother got angry and said that was a lie. I don't remember any previous life. You're lying, Grandma. But when I think that they may have been reborn and are now living happily, I feel less sad and lonely, and my mind is at ease. When I said that, my brother, who was looking the other way, sniffed his runny nose and said, 'Yeah.'" And then it shows Sumihiko and his grandmother just smiling with a brimming ray of radiance around them. "When demons are reborn, I hope they aren't reborn as demons. It may take some time, but God is sure to forgive them. I wonder what my great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother were like. Oh. Great-great-grandfather, great-great-grandmother. So does that mean that it shows Tanjiro and it shows Kanao? So did he... Yo! Did Tanjiro get with Kanao? I wonder what my great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother were like. I envy anyone who knew them. What foods did they like? What colors? I like to hear those things about people. A human life is like a story. Let me close my food down so the heat can stay in it real quick. Because it just got placed here, but it wasn't sealed so that the heat can stay inside. Alright, back to it. A human life is like a story, and my life is my own story with me as the main character. 100 years ago, and 200 years ago, and 1,000 years ago, there were as many stories as there were people. For my family, and for strangers as well, there were many stories and only they knew them. Modern day Tokyo.
Yes, they did it! Yay! Incredible! They beat the demon boss! They won!
Yoshiteru Agatsuma, age 17. Book, The Legend of Zenitsu. And then he gets kicked in the back by someone saying,
"Are you reading great-granddad's novel of lies again? Did you just kick me in my back? Exams are coming up, I can't believe you, and your grades have been abysmal."
Toko Agatsuma, age 18.
"But they were so cool! They risked their lives in battle! Go be cool like them and study! Ah, my ear!"
And then it shows Yoshiteru getting pulled by the ear by Toko. And they're both walking down an street with him thinking, "The other women in our family are so quiet and polite, but my big sister is something else entirely." And then he says, "Do you believe in reincarnation?"
Huh? What's with that look on your face? You mad?
No, sorry. I believe that everyone who fought demons and died for a peaceful world was reborn into a happier life.
Oh wow! Japan got the golden gymnastics!
Listen, because she's being distracted by the Olympics going on.
Uzui is so cool, but he flashes his middle finger and chokes reporters. He's a total punk!
And we find the descendant of Uzui, Tengen Uzui, with this being Tenma Uzui, age 20. Well, they had it coming. I guess good-looking people can get away with anything. Huh? What's this news story?
Use your own phone!
As Yoshiteru takes her phone away. And then all of a sudden she says,
"What a beauty! Enlarge it!"
Hashibira's a botanist? Interview with Aoba Hashibira. Pretty much the descendant of Inosuke Hashibira. Yeah, that's about the newly discovered blue spider lily. Tune in for a research update in July. It only blooms 2 or 3 days a year and only during the day. Hashibira was researching it. But then a mistake caused them all to wither, so the program is under intense criticism. They shouldn't be so mean to such a delicate and pretty girl. And then Toko says,
"Huh? Hashibira is a man."
Because, you know, with the features of Inosuke passed down, very effeminate features, still a dude.
Then I demand he commit seppuku."
You're just like our father.
"Look, twins. They're so cute. Are they girls?"
You're always so creepy.
"No, I'm not creepy at all."
And then it shows 2 girls oh, I am seeing everyone. Okay, I'm seeing the reborn people of Yoriichi and his family in the distance of one panel. And with these being twins, I'm gonna guess that these are the reborn reincarnations of Muichiro and Yuichiro. And then we see with Yoshiteru saying, "No, I'm not creepy at all." We see two girls at the bottom corner, which look like Kanae and Shinobu, with I was about to call him Zenitsu, with Yoshiteru getting all wide nose, looking at him, blushing, saying, "Those girls are from Sekire Women's Academy, and they smell like heaven." And then Toko says,
"Oh, hi, Kanata."
"Good morning, Toko. You curled your hair today? It's cute."
"You think so?"
"Yeah, you're the cutest girl in the world."
"And you're so cool, Kanata."
And then Yoshiteru's just looking mad-eyed.
I've been studying how
to cast curses, so watch out." "What?" "Sorry." "Where's Sumihiko?" "He's probably still asleep. I bet he'll finally be late." Then it shows kids playing in a kindergarten with a big old massive man handling them, which is the reincarnation of Gyome. That kindergarten teacher is huge. He looks funny in that pink apron, though. And then we have people serving lunch at school, who are the reincarnations of Mitsuri and Iguro.
"School is off this afternoon. Want to stop by the diner on the way home?"
The one with the snake decor and giant servings? Oh, so the diner is where Mitsuri and Iguro work at, not at the school cafeteria. Okay, let me just read through this so I can know what I'm saying exactly.
"School is off this afternoon. Want to stop by that diner on the way home?"
The one with the snake decor and giant servings?
"Yeah."
I don't know if I can show my face there again.
"Huh? Why is that?"
You know how the woman who works there has a big chest? Her husband back in the kitchen threw a knife at us because Yoshiteru wouldn't stop staring at it. And then Toko just glares at her brother Yoshiteru with a mad look on her face, saying, "You." And then Yoshiteru says, "That's it too! It's a false accusation!" And he's stumbling over his words. And then we cut back to the house, and Sumihiko finally wakes up. "Oh no, I'm running late! Why didn't anyone wake me up?" "I'm leaving, Mom." And then Sumihiko goes out of his window instead of down the stairs, and he just does a whole bunch of acrobatic moves down the building. Is this the reincarnation of Yoriichi? And his brother being the reincarnation of Kokushibo? Ooh! That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. But he's doing all these perfect flips and acrobatic moves with him saying, "I want to get the perfect attendance award." And he's just doing parkour across all of these buildings so effortlessly. But I gotta hurry. And then he just parkours down an entire flights of stairs from the outside. Not, going down the stairs. He's just grabbing each ledge and then landing on just perfectly normal. And he runs by a couple of old dudes that are the reborn reincarnations of Urokodaki, who we still don't see the face of, and Zenitsu's grandpa. They're both the reincarnations, and they're playing, I want to say Go or Shogi right now. Check. "Sorry, coming through." "What's with you every morning?" "Sorry, that hooligan." And then we have the news on television was saying,
"Good morning, this is Ubuyashiki, who has set a world record as the longest living Japanese person ever. Incredible!"
And then he's running past a building called Haganezuka Maintenance. And then he runs by these three little girls that are basically the little girls from the past. They're the reincarnated forms as well, with him screaming out with him saying, "Oops, sorry!"
"It's the Running Man!"
Ugh, what a weird nickname. And then it shows him running towards a crosswalk with the light turned green. And then a person saying, "I don't see anybody." Well, keep watching. And then it shows Sumihiko running, and he says, "Uh-oh, a patrol car. I should stop, but..." And he cartwheels over the car. Sorry! And then we see the reincarnations of Genya and Shinazugawa as police officers in this police car, saying, "That must be the one we got several reports about. Yeah, for a moment I thought we ran him over, that punk!" And Sumihiko is still running, saying, "Oh man, will I make it in time?" And then we have him running towards the children. Now here's the thing, I don't remember their names, but they're the children that first were with Urokodaki, who lost their lives to the demon in the Wisteria Forest for the final selection. They all appear as like younger students as well, with one of them saying, "What'd you get? Show me, show me!" And they're saying, "Oh, cool, that's a rare character, Gichi. That's what I got." And these little tokens that they have, they're all the little fox masks that their descendants had in the past.
This is what I got. Wow, I got the same thing again. My allowance already ran out.
You can have ours.
Huh? Really?
And then he runs up to the school, and we cut into the school, and it shows a kid on a phone thinking, "I forgot my homework. Good morning, Kazumi." And it also says, "Don't walk and use your phone at the same time." This is a bulletin. And he's looking at the photo of someone that looks to be like Tamayo, the reincarnation of Tamayo. And then a person says, "Goto, is that your girlfriend?" "Ugh, you scared me, Takeuchi." "No, she's, And then, so many names, so many brand new names. I am so sorry if I mix them all up. And then Yoshiteru comes up saying, "Those are paintings, right? I know about them. The mysterious artist Yushiro Yamamoto paints these of a beautiful woman called Tamayo. Yushiro is still alive after all these years." Because it is Yushiro, because he has this little cat with him, and he's drawing all these pictures of Tamayo. His work is beginning to receive critical acclaim around the world. Those are paintings? They look like photos! Impressive and beautiful. But he tries to shoot reporters who come for interviews. What a violent painter! He actually tries to shoot people that try to interview him. My first love was number 812, Tamayo with dark blue flowers, by the way. And he's just laughing by himself. And the thing is, neither one of these guys who Yoshiteru is talking to, know who he is. He's just decided to talk to him. And then we have Sumihiko still running, and then behind him comes up the reincarnation of Rengoku, with him saying, "Sumihiko, fine morning, isn't it? Good morning, Tojuro. It's unusual for you to be late." "Yeah, I started training," so this is him saying it. This is Sumihiko saying it. "It's unusual for you to be late." "Yeah, I started training at 4 a.m. and got absorbed into it. I couldn't hear anything until my dad whacked me." "That's messed up, dude." And then it shows a police car coming up behind him saying, "You kids, halt! You there, cease! You should join the kendo club, Sumihiko, or whatever, but you should do a sport. You with the short hair, stop!" "No way, it cut into my sleep." "Aw, come on, at least try something. I'm certain you'd be awesome." "Please stop, you're too fast!" Here's the thing. They are running so fast that the cop car is having trouble keeping up with the both of them. Oh, this is so good. "I like how once you start something, you can't hear anything else. Stop, you dumb kids!" says the reincarnation of Shinazugawa as he chases them down in their car. And then reincarnation of Genya says, "Hey, calm down." "Ha ha! I barely compare to you, though." And then it shows what appears to be Murata, the reincarnation of Murata, saying, "Close the gate! Close it!" "But there's still 3 minutes. He's a repeat defender! Hurry, hurry, close it, close it!" Yeah! I got hiccups, pardon me. "I think we'll make it." "Yeah!" And both Tojiro and Sumihiko leap completely over the fence and make it inside of the school, despite the efforts of, pardon me, Hiccup's gone. While the reincarnation of Murata looks on in shock as they both sail over the gate and make it back into the school. We barely made it! Yep! And then it shows the reincarnations of Shinazugawa and Genya coming up to the school gate as they both look at the reincarnated Murata and they says, "We need to talk." With vein bulged eyes and face and vein bulged bloodshot eyes and veiny face. And then it shows I guess the reincarnation of Inosuke saying, "Another peaceful day, but the lab might fire me. I wish I could live alone deep in the mountains." And he says so as he's eating a bento box just on a park bench by himself. Then we cut back to the house of Sumihiko, and his mother gets on the phone saying,
"Yes, this is the Kamado residence." "What? My son did what? I'm so sorry for the trouble."
And it shows in their house a Demon Slayer sword, numerous pictures including a picture frame with the Hanafuna earrings in them, and a picture of everyone from the Demon Slayer Corps all the way down to Tanjiro and everyone else from the past in the picture as well. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the end. And then we have everything explained for everyone. Sumihiko, descendants of Tanjiro and Kanao. So Tanjiro definitely pretty much married Kanao, and their Kanata and Sumihiko are the descendants. The police and his parents lectured him for 4 hours over his dangerous antics on the way to school. On the way home, he went to the park and cried. His dream for the future is to work at a zoo. His favorite animal is the slow, Loris or Eoris? Then we have Kanata. His nickname is the first love thief. He regrets being sullen towards his grandmother, so now he tries to be open about what's on his mind. He doesn't have a girlfriend. Then we cut to the descendants of Nezuko and Zenitsu. Two younger sisters. We have Toko and Yoshiteru, along with two younger sisters. Yoshiteru, he got hit by a truck once, protecting his little sisters. Thanks to first aid from Toko, he recovered without any lasting effects. He's good at heart, but he often cheats at things. At the moment, he has marshmallows in his mouth. And it shows him with a big puffy cheeks because he has marshmallows in there. Then Toko. She thinks Yoshiteru can accomplish anything he wants, so she just wishes he would apply himself. Her dream for the future is to be a prosecutor. Yoshiteru was once able to get into high school because she kept an eye on his studies. Inosuke and Aoi's grandchild. Wow! So Inosuke and Aoi got together. And Aoba Hashibira is their descendant. When he found himself out of work and was crying in the park, he became friends with Sumihiko, who was also there weeping, and they had a good time playing badminton together. He has one younger brother. Then we have the swimming classmates, which has the two kids that are the descendants of the two that were trained on the Urokodaki, along with the other one who's with them, who is Giyu Tomioka's descendant. Giyu's descendant, Gichi Tomioka. Then we have the Sekirei Women's Academy Pretty Sisters, who are the descendants of Kanae and Shinobu. Then we have the elderly Shogi brothers, it was Shogi, which are the descendants of pretty much the descendants and reincarnation of Zenitsu's grandpa and Urokodaki, whose face is still unknown. Twins under mispatterned blankets, who are the reincarnations of Muichiro and Yuichiro. Goto's descendant and Takeuchi's descendant. We have Murata's great-grandchild, a school teacher. Kotetsu's descendant. Kanamori's descendant. Haganezuka's mechanic, who has his face covered as well. Diner couple being both Mitsuri and Iguro. Yushido, the artist, who is still alive after all this time. Senjudo's Rengoku's descendant Tojiro. He's extremely optimistic and has a strong heart, so he even responds to insults with thank you. Sanemi Shinazugawa's descendant, his subordinate, who looks exactly like Genya, and Sanahiro, who is the one who's over him. They've been as tight as brothers ever since they got badly cut while arresting some men wielding knives. So they even suffered scars that are exactly like that of Shinazugawa and Genya when they were apprehending some knife-wielding dudes. Then we have Kiyo, Sumi, and Naho's descendants, the little girls that were always with Aoi and training Zenitsu and the rest of them in the earlier chapters. Nursery school teacher who can see and is a descendant of Gyome. Uzui Tengen's descendant, gymnast, one of 7 brothers and sisters. Then we have Kirya Ubuyashiki. Kirya, the longest living Japanese person. He's still alive, and he's friends with Yushiro. So out of every single person that was back then in the days of the Demon Slayer Corps and the defeat of Muzan Kibutsuji, only Kirya and Yushiro are the only ones who were still alive. He got much older. And then it has a happy family, which is, in fact, the descendants of Yoichi and his family way back when as well. And that pretty much covers all the major faces that we saw before. And in these pages, we see everyone enjoying themselves. We see Nezuko chilling with Tanjiro. We see Uzui, Yushiro, Kanao spending plenty of time with Tanjiro. We see Nezuko hanging out with Nezuko hanging out with, I guess, Zenitsu, who's putting like a ring of flowers in her hair. Inosuke hanging out with Aoi. All the other Demon Slayers, former Demon Slayers, because they're now disbanded, hanging out with each other. We still got more. To be born is a blessing. Please do not forget to smile. When you cry, it's unbearably sad. Do not look back in remorse. Just remember that we were here, fighting together and laughing together, like brothers and sisters or like parents and children. Be proud. Meeting you was most fortunate, and it brought happiness. Your existence saved me and drove away loneliness. Thoughts of you caused strength to rise from deep inside like a fire. Now here's the thing. The people who are all saying this, we have Shinobu saying, please do not forget to smile. When you cry, it's unbearably sad. And Giyu saying, do not look back in remorse. And Gyome is saying, just remember that we were here, fighting together and laughing together, like brothers and sisters or like parents and children. Then Iguro is saying, be proud. Meeting you was most fortunate and it brought happiness. Then Mitsui says, your existence saved me and drove away loneliness. And then Rengoku says, thoughts of you cause strength to rise from deep inside like a fire. And then it shows the children under Okidaki saying, if possible, everyone would desire to live and stay by each other's side. Then we have the other Demon Slayer Corps members saying, but they had to make a choice. Live or die, win or lose. Then we have a section with Uzui, but to have any choice at all is fortunate. True suffering is like an avalanche. It swallows a person in an instant and offers no choice. Then we have Genya. They just want to protect others. Other lives were more important than their own. Then we have Muichiro. Happiness isn't about the length of your life. I want you to see the depths of this happiness I have. Shinazugawa. I have never thought for a moment that I was unhappy. Then we have Yushido and Tamayo. We never gave up or ran away, and we kept the faith. Well, we never gave up or ran away, and we kept the faith. And then we have Tanjiro, and we always gave it everything we had. Many feelings became an immense blade, and defeated the enemy, as it shows Muzan Kibutsuji just fading away into nothing. That was due to everyone's strength. Victory would have been impossible without even one of us. Life itself is a miracle. You are precious. You are important. Please, live the best you can, my most beloved friends. That's it. that is the final chapter. That is a final chapter page for Demon Slayer. We have one final note from Gotoge, who says, well, first let me just say, wow. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of Demon Slayer. I never thought I would complete an entire series. But we did it. We did it. This was an amazing story. This was an amazing story. But let me read this footnote, and then I'll draw this to a close. And these are the last 2 pages of this whole volume. Hi, I'm Gotoge, and here's the final volume. This completes Demon Slayer KIMETSU no YAIBA. Parts of it weren't perfect, but I'm thankful from the bottom of my heart to everyone who stuck with me to the end, and to everyone who sent letters. Some people sent warm and encouraging words even when they were having a hard time themselves. That was deeply moving. It made me think that I'd like to become the kind of person who can spread kindness even when I'm having a difficult time. I'm sorry if there was anyone who always looked forward to the series but was unable to see its completion. My dream is that we will meet again sometime and be friends. This series is a story I made with all of you. It's a story that wouldn't exist if you hadn't read it. Thank you for fighting alongside Tanjiro and the other characters. And thank you for your tears and laughter. A lot of people helped me, and I was able to learn and grow a lot. It was a great honor that I deserve. Thank you so very much. From the bottom of my heart, I wish for the happiness of everyone who provided encouragement, helped out, or was involved with the series in some way. Thank you. And with that is the end of Demon Slayer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck with me all of these Mondays, including specifically this Tuesday, since this volume released on a Tuesday, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me during this entire series. I can't remember when I started Demon Slayer, but I know it's been I've been doing this since April. And to see this to this completion, it's really bittersweet because I knew I was going to have to end this at some point, but to be here at the end, it is really surreal for me right now. And I just want to say I'm thankful that I really do hope that you all enjoyed my read through of the entire Demon Slayer series. I'm happy for doing this. I'm so glad that I was able to share this moment with you guys live. Thankfully, there were no internet problems during the entirety of my reading, so that way I can add this to the playlist. So anyone, if they want to, they can listen to the entire Demon Slayer read through that I did from volume 1 all the way to volume 23. 205 chapters of storytelling goodness. I am thankful to have been given this opportunity to bring such a wonderful series to this channel. Now, there are people who are giving me ideas about what's going to be the next series that I get. I will keep you informed of which one I decide I'm going to start next, but it's probably not going to be for a while, because this will allow me to rest from, devoting so much time to preparing so many thumbnails, so many videos, and so much editing. There was so much editing involved with all of my read-throughs. And I just want to, just take a quick break before I bring something else back to the channel. Don't worry, I got a list. You guys have made me make a list of things that you guys want me to read next, so I will get to it. But this is the end, ladies and gentlemen. This is by far one of the biggest undertakings I have ever had on this channel as far as reading and doing live reactions to things. And I want to say I am actually so really glad that I was not spoiled on anything in this story whatsoever. I am so glad I was able to read through this entire series and no one spoiled anything for me. I am eternally grateful to every single one of you. And I'm going to keep thanking you guys, because it's not just by me reading this stuff that these videos have been as successful as they have been. It's because of you, every single one of you. So thank you for letting me see this to the end. and I really do hope you all enjoyed. Let me just see all the comments of all the people who stopped by. D-Train, I don't know how to say their name, Lloyd MS, Tanus, Ahmed R, Pauline, and Gabriel. Thank you, everyone. I really do hope you enjoyed yourselves during my entire Demon Slayer read-through. 2 hours. This is where I'm going to draw to the close. I think I'll do reactions to the anime? Well, I've kind of already watched the first season of the anime, so my reactions to rewatching through it wouldn't be as impactful as me if I hadn't watched them. So I kind of already watched the first season already, but I do know I have said that it is absolutely phenomenal. It is both aesthetically beautiful to watch as much as it is to see the story represented in animation. I can't wait for season 2. I really can't wait to see season 2 of Demon Slayer and see how they adapt the story in animation as well. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I meant season 2 and beyond. I'll consider it. If I have the free time, which I'm really looking forward to trying to get more of. As you know, I'm working towards doing this whole channel full time, and this being my full-time job, because this is what I would rather do. This is what I would rather do with my life, is entertain all of you. That's what I would like to do, and that's what I'm going to continue working towards. So as I continue work on getting more free time, when season 2 comes out, I'll see how I stand with where I am with that, and then we'll go from there. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say about Demon Slayer. It is a 10 out of 10 series. I am glad I was able to read all of it for you. If you're just now coming in, you're pretty much at the tail end of when I'm saying my goodbyes, because I've already spent the last 2 hours reading through the final bit of this series. So, this video will be up for any of you who are coming in late and want to listen to the read-through later on, and I'll just add it to the playlist. But that's all. I have no more. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing. I'm not making you. This is not forced upon you. This is entirely your decision. But if you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I will forever be always excited and looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.